Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for Cocktails and Conversation. My name is Maria Whipple, and together with Stephanie Bonebreak and Almiria Liana, or Sugar, we make magic happen through affinity networks. Let me just let Nancy in here. To get us ready for Purdue's women's basketball season, we've invited Coach Gearlds to our event this evening, and she will be talking about empowering the next generation through her Purdue experience and share her insights about the future of basketball. As we begin, could everybody please, let's all give Coach Katie a virtual round of applause. Let's see if I can click that. Yay! Thanks, everyone. Okay. Hi, welcome, Coach. Thank you so much for coming here this evening. We really, really appreciate you taking the time. I know you just finished practice to join us for this virtual event.
No, I love it. Thanks for having me. It's cocktails and conversation, right? So a practice always, sometimes if I'm having a cocktail after practice, it means it didn't go well, but practice was actually okay today. So
Awesome.
any excuse to have a cocktail though.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. So I know that you and Christine have shared plenty of pictures with us for these last couple of weeks. Would you mind telling the audience a little bit about yourself with these pictures?
I can do that.
Thank you.
Okay. A little bit about me. I'm from Beech Grove, right on the south side of Indianapolis. Small town. Parents still live there. So it's always great to get back there. I would won a state championship my senior year, was Indiana men's basketball, and then finally came to Purdue after that. So I was here from 03 to 07, went away for a little bit, playing professionally. Started coaching at Marion when I was 28, was there for 8 years, and then brought back on here, starting my fourth year here at Purdue. About to hit at the end of the month, I hit the big 4-0. So feel like some days I feel like I was just here. Most days I feel like it was an eternity ago, but here we are. A little bit about this. I was Indiana men's basketball my senior year. My freshman year of high school, I made a bet with my parents that I could get the car of my dream if I was Indiana men's basketball my senior year. So I was. They bought me a 2002 Ford Mustang convertible, yellow. It still sits in my garage now. So I need the new top. It needs a new alternator right now. I need to take it to the shop, but still it's like perfect weather right now to drive that thing around. But I made a promise to my dad that when I was ever in a good enough spot that I could get him a new truck because he drove. So at the time I was driving an 88 Chevy Celebrity. If the radio was on, you couldn't hear the thing honk its horn. It was so old. I literally called it Paz. I don't know how this is like Paz was like piece of shit. Like that was what my name to my car. So I think the next slide is actually a couple years ago to the day, 2 years ago, October 8th of 2022. I was able to cash in on the promise I made my dad, and bought him a brand new truck. It was great. He didn't know what was happening. I just told him I was on my way to Indy. Let's meet at the dealership. It's the first one he drove and was able to write the check and drive away. But that's my pops. He's my twin. Him and I look pretty much very much alike. And then my sister and my brother look exactly like my mom. But yeah, that's that story there.
I love that story. And there's a video of there. Is that a video, I think, that of you being interviewed about this truck?
Yeah, I think there was a Big Ten story.
Okay.
Yeah, Big Ten Network did a story and got really emotional doing
I
it
love
because that's my hero right there. That's my guy.
Yeah, I imagine. So, so everyone, we will be sharing that video out when with this recording, so you can watch it later. So, thank you. So, some people commented that it was a great story. So, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, next slide, please.
So a little bit about me. When I finished playing here, I was drafted in the WNBA. I played 3 years for the Seattle Storm until I blew my knee out. I was playing in Greece. I had surgery over in Greece. Didn't quite get back up to the level of athleticism that you needed to play here in the States, so I continued to play over in Europe a little bit. And then the two pictures on the right are the last team I played for. The far right picture is the very last game I played. We won a championship in Portugal. And actually this August we took the team to Portugal, and that's the gym. Like that was our last game in Portugal where we played, and just walking into the gym brought back really good memories of, playing my last game. I didn't know it was going to be my last game, but it ended up being it. And so it was good to win a championship there and the last time I played.
It's an awesome story. How long were you in Europe again?
7 years. So I played 3 years in Greece. I started in Slovakia for a little bit, played 3 years in Greece, northern Spain, southern Spain, and then finished in Portugal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. I love that.
me too.
Next slide.
Yeah. So I love shoes. I'm a sneakerhead. That's my spare bedroom right now. Still have, I think, about 10 shoes that are in boxes that need to go back up there. But the two on the right are actually my two favorite. Um, they're both the Jordan 1s, the Golden Blacks, and then the Jordan 11s. They're on the top, both gold. Any shoe that has gold on it, like I just have to buy it. I actually, I don't know, Christine put I had a box on my desk today, and I got some new shoes today. So I got
Get out. Those are hot. Oh, those are hot.
so these
Those are
are
awesome.
Deion Sanders. I think 96 his shoe, but I'm just any it resonates with recruiting. If I've got a pair of shoes on the sideline, it resonates. So I look at it as an investment. I feel that's a lot of money sitting on the wall there, but it's a good investment. Because if you get good players, then maybe you get extended contract. But yeah, I a big sneakerhead.
I love that. Can we get a show of hands here in the crowd who else loves sneakers? Just put a thumbs up or a clap or something. That'd be great. Or put it in the chat. Who else here are sneakers? Sneakers over heels. I think that's what you are. Thanks. Okay, next slide.
Oh, that's this is a recruiting graphic that I absolutely hate to talk about. It's just because it's me, and then so I get really embarrassed when we talk about me to recruits. But when I was here, I was an All-American in 2007. I think I have the fourth most points in Purdue history. Um, I think I'm the last All-American to play here, so it's my job to make sure we get some more
Mm,
All-Americans here and more banners, more numbers hanging in the rafters. But yeah, I usually get really embarrassed when Mark and Kelly and Alex have to start talking about me.
and now that I'm asking you to talk about you, that's,
Yeah, I know it's yeah. Christine, you could have done this one for me, I think.
well, she's on the call.
Yeah.
Okay, next. I'm gonna do next slide. That's an awesome picture. I love
This
that
one,
picture.
yeah, thank you. See the same shoes on. This one's a little bit. I can talk about this one a little bit better because this was all the coaching, and I think about you. You don't win games or championships if you don't have good players. I did have 12 All Americans at Marion. We won 82% of our games. We won two national championships. Uh, I think last year actually it was brutal of a year for us. It was my first losing season of my life. And we finished 15 and 18, so we've got to do that, but do better and make sure that doesn't happen again. But just been really blessed to be able to coach some really young talented players. It makes they make the job easy for me.
Thank you. Steph, next slide.
Yeah, so good players, all right, sneakers, conversations, good players, extend a contract. Thankfully for me, I think the Mike and Tiff and the board of trustees here believe in the direction we're headed. So very fortunate to lead the program. I'm excited to be on the sidelines a couple more years, and hopefully, we can win some more games and I can extend it a little bit longer. But right now, I feel really blessed to be in a really good spot.
Congratulations again. This is
Thank
great.
you.
This is great
Thank,
news for the university and everybody. So this is wonderful.
thank you.
Hmm. Next slide.
Yeah, so been here 3 years, and we've been to the postseason all 3 years. Hopefully, that's the streak we just keep going. I think back in the late '90s, early 2000s, it was just an automatic for Purdue to be in the postseason play, and we've got to make sure we keep the train on the tracks and we keep heading the right direction.
Well, you've got someone in front of that track, leading us there, right, Coach?
Yeah.
There we go. So,
So yeah, super big honor here. I remember being in school when people were getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I always aspired to have a little nail here in the hallway here in Mackey. So just a huge honor. I think about my coaches, my teammates, all the people that were here for me for those 4 years, and I think it's actually next Friday is the day that it happens. So excited to have my people there with me and enjoy the moment.
Awesome. Is it going to be televised or recorded, or we
I
can
don't know.
watch
I
it
don't know
via
exactly.
YouTube? Or
I'm not sure. I know the football game is in the evening, so it's a luncheon during the
Mhm.
day. So uh yeah, well, another
Well, that
good
would be
reason
cool if
to
they could be live streamed or so, because
yeah, there
I'm
you go.
sure some people would
Christine,
love to
let's
watch
talk to
them.
somebody. Let's make some calls.
That would be great. Just so you know, there's a lot of people putting in the chat about shoes.
I love it. I love it. If
Like,
anybody has any
okay.
good gold shoes, send them my way.
Oh yeah. Yep. She needs to build up that collection, folks, as
Yeah.
you can see. Okay. Next slide, please.
Size 10 men, 11 and a half in women. All that pop out at the bottom there.
Did everybody hear that on the size? Oh, what size? Spice just asked. Well, I'll put it in the chat really quick. Did you say 10?
10 in men, yeah, that's and then
And
11 and a half in a women.
okay, great. Just so it's now duly recorded.
Yeah.
Christine was going to talk about these slides. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Christine.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. I'm Christine. I am Katie's administrative assistant. Glad to be here supporting her. This is the QR code to our webpage. I hope everybody takes a little time to get to know our schedule so you can come to our games or watch our games, but especially get to know our players. We have Katie's recruited, signed on an amazing group of young women. They are just all wonderful people. And I hope you all get to know their names, come see them play, and see how great they are.
Absolutely. Next slide.
Good job, Christine.
Thank you. If you want to support us, we have a scholarship fund. This goes to the players to help them get an education. Our players are here to learn, to get their degree, and we love that we can support them in that.
Can you remind us how many of these players have a scholarship? How does that work exactly?
Yeah, so we have 15 on roster, and all 15 carry. Well, we have 14. We can carry 15. All 14 this year have a full scholarship. I don't know how many endowed scholars we have. Christine, do you know that number?
Off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, it would be a wild guess if I knew. But if I know when I played here, my scholarship was endowed, and that was always really cool to go have dinner with the family or the woman, yeah, the donor who paid for my scholarship.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Christine. Okay. Tickets.
Tickets, everybody. This is the QR code. Get tickets. Some of our games will sell out quickly, IU especially. So get your tickets soon.
Remind us the first game it's not November 14th.
November 6th, we open the season against Purdue Fort Wayne. And then that Sunday we actually host Notre Dame. November 10th, Notre Dame's coming into town. So
put in it, please, folks, if ladies in the chat, who's planning to go to that first game, put a yes or whatever the messages in the chat. Let's see who's coming to those games. 10:29 is the first pregame someone wrote.
Yeah, we have an exhibition against Indiana Tech that day.
Okay.
So then we officially open the season November 6th. Fan day is the 19th. So we'll practice the 9th through 9 o'clock to 10:30 open practice. Then there's an autograph session. The men come on after us in practice. So same thing, autograph session with the men, and then the volleyball team plays those guys from way down south that we don't like to talk about at 7 p.m. in Mackey. So it'll be good to have 14,000, 15,000 strong to go watch Dave and the volleyball team and what they're doing in Mackey.
Absolutely. Someone had asked a question here really quick. Oh, there's a lot of yeses. They're coming. Jaden Ivey's mom coaches ND, right? I don't know if you happen to know that.
Yeah, she does. She's the head coach at Notre Dame. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have Mary's asking, do we have an advantage at all to get tickets to away games? I don't know what you mean by advantage. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Coach? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an advantage other than you really help us when you're on the
I
road.
mean, I'm
That I
just
mean,
saying it might be difficult to get tickets. Um, so like I live
Oh,
in Ohio. You're coming to Ohio State
we
and
do play.
Ohio,
Yeah, we do play
Miami
Ohio
as
State.
well. So love to
Yeah,
be
actually,
there.
there's not a way we can help get tickets, but their ticket office normally most places we don't sell. We go play, sell out. So normally their ticket offices will have tickets.
oh, I see.
Christine, maybe we can get Mary's information and send her links so she doesn't have to work too hard. It'd be nice. It's always nice to go on the road and see black
Mm-hmm.
and gold in the stands representing us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'd be
Okay.
Absolutely.
great.
Definitely want to come to more games, says Chastity, and beat ND. Okay. And my family has 8 season tickets. Wow. Here we go.
I love that. Thank
I
you.
love, I love that. And giving to the women's basketball. Oh, so Holland put in the chat, if you're interested in giving to the women's basketball scholarship, she put the link in the chat too, as well as I think we had the QR code up here. So thanks, Holland. Okay. So there we go about tickets. So thanks. Stephanie, next slide. Oh,
Yeah, I'm an avid golfer. I feel like this was last summer with Coach Katie. It was the first time playing with him. I always tell people that's the real Coach Katie right there. So he's awesome. He, I mean, hits it straight down the middle, and quick as just witty and like a slick humor. Obviously, I think if everybody heard, he had a small stroke here in the last week or two, but seems to be doing well, recovering. He moved back to West Lafayette, so it's always great to see him around the office. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Just came home today. Love it.
yeah. Good
Yeah.
Love
news.
it. Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know, Courtney. We're like, oh, what's happening? Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay. Steph, next slide. This is the
Big
only
Chiefs
time you can
fan.
wear red.
Yeah, it's the only time I'm allowed to wear red. I do have a couple pairs of red sneakers, but I only wear them when I'm at Chiefs I go to Chiefs games or when I'm watching. So we actually have a young woman on our team from the Kansas City area, and I was doing a home visit last year. And took Coda with me. And so that was fun. She flew out there with me. We went to her house. This was another time I went to a game. That's actually the owner's suite, where I was sitting. And it's nice to know people who know people, but big supporter of George. Love Andy Reid, and how he coaches. So it's kind of, yeah, I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
I love that. And Coda gets seats on that plane. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was her first time on a flight there.
I love that. I love that. Great picture. Did you get to see George when you were
I
there?
did, yeah. I saw him on the field, and then I've seen him after the game. When they were in Minnesota last year, talked to him and his girlfriend. They got me. I sat with his girlfriend in the stands for the game. Yeah, he's great.
So you're getting a lot of shout outs because there's a lot of Chiefs fans here.
I love
Obviously,
it.
there's a
I
lot of
love
Karloftis fans too. So
all
yeah,
of
of
it.
course.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So I love my family. This is literally the best part about my job is that they're all an hour away from me. Um, I think when I worked at Marion, it was great that I was always there because I was in the city of Indianapolis. So Purdue was going to be the only place to probably pull me away from Marion. I loved my job. I love being close to my family, but since I'm only an hour away, so my younger brother has 3, my sister has 2, and then I have an older sister who also has 2. One graduated from Ball State, and one's a sophomore here at Purdue. But these are 4 of the little ones, and they come to all the games, and they're just like
Aw.
pure joy. I like right there. I love that.
So that's 7 little kids, if I'm calculating correctly, right? 3,
Yeah.
2, and 2. Okay.
Yep.
And what are
Yep.
the ages again? Between
So
what ages to what age?
one just finished college and one is a sophomore here at Purdue. And then these ones go from 11, 7, 6, 6, and then about to be a 2-year-old. So
Wow. Look
yeah.
at that. She knows their ages. I don't even know. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow,
they're the
those are
best.
adorable.
They're the
Cute
best.
picture. Cute picture. Okay. Steph, next slide, please.
Oh, and then that's like my pure joy right there. That's Coda. She was on the call earlier. She's sleeping on the couch right now in my office, but um she's obviously we made her a Chiefs fan. Come here, girl. Come here. Coda, come here. Come here. But she's also a Purdue fan. She's got a Purdue jersey
Oh,
on right now, but um yeah, she's when we lose, she doesn't know it. When we win, she doesn't know it. She just knows that I walk through the door and she's happy to see me. So
oh,
she always brings joy to the office when she comes and visits too.
that's
Thank
unconditional
you.
love there for
Thank
you,
you.
Kate. I love that. Can we put a heck yes, we are a dog mom or a
Yeah, we
dog.
love dogs.
Love dogs. Put a big heart there, everyone. I love that. Thank you. And she's actually at the office.
Mm,
Is that right?
don't
Okay.
tell
We
anybody.
don't know. It's not. We're going to edit that out of this call tonight. So thank you for sharing. Okay, let's see. We love Coda. Who wrote that? Oh, Joanne. Joanne, you know Coda? Of course you do. So you got a lot
Who?
of comments here in the chat. Joanne
Oh.
Troutner, I think. Oh, Holland. Okay. Got it. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself. That was awesome. All those pictures. That's great to know each other. Okay, everybody, if you want to see everybody like in gallery view is always a fun way to see everybody. Otherwise, you could just put it on speaker view. I'm going to put mine on gallery so I can see a bit of who else is on this call. Because we have 4 pages of people. And if you don't mind turning on your camera, that would be great just to get you prepared for the end of this cocktails and conversation where we do take a picture with your cocktail, whatever you are drinking this evening. If you want to go and put in the chat what you are drinking, that would be fun. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with the questions and the interview questions now. So, first question I have for you is: can you please share a pivotal moment in your personal life that led you to your love of basketball and your decision to play at Purdue?
Oh man. Okay.
I know.
So my love for basketball, I for as long as I can remember, I love it. My sister is 4 years older than I was, so or what I am. So I just feel like I was dragged to the gym, right? She started playing at the YMCA or with the boys when she was 6, and I was 2, and so I was just drugged to the gym all the time, and just kind of fell in love with it. Um, and that's and been in love with it ever since. My love for Purdue came later in life. Growing up on the south side of Indianapolis, everybody is fans of that other place. My entire family grew up a Bob Knight fan. Love Coach Knight. Damon Bailey, my dad and I went to an IU game when I was 9 years old. Fell in love with. That's when I feel like I wanted to be in this environment. So my grandfather was the only Purdue fan in my family, and then my brother, and we just thought he was like the weird one because he was the young one and born on April Fool's Day and just a weird cat. um, but
That's fun.
uh, so he passed away my junior year of high school. I was being recruited by pretty much everybody in the country, and he passed away my junior year of high school, and it was that year, 3 months later, I committed to Purdue. Purdue was heavily actively recruiting me. Fell in love with the coach, and just something told me after my grandpa passed. The more I played that year, my junior year, and something told me that this is where I needed to go. Don't tell this to a lot of people, but there's always a moment that I'm alone in the locker room here before I coach, and I always kind of like say a quick prayer to him. And he's like, I touch my heart when I leave the locker room. And it's usually he's just usually on my mind. It's like my last thought as I leave the locker room, and so yeah, that's why I ended up at Purdue, and I'm blessed to be back here.
Boy, he really has a special place in your heart, doesn't he? That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Um, wow. Okay. Okay. What does a day in a week in your life look like in season and off season?
Oof. In season, so normally we'll meet about practice or games. If we're doing scout, here in the office, I like to do a lot of work in my office. So whether it's after practice when nobody's here, or in the office, if Christine comes in and my hat's turned on backwards and she knows not to mess with me, I'm in work mode. I'm preparing for a game, and right now we actually practice on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We practice from 4 to about 6:30, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays we go from 6 to 8:30. Our Normally we like a 2 to 5, but our class schedule doesn't set up this year. We have a civil engineer major, we have a biomedical engineer major, so their class schedule is it's not as flexible as some other majors. So
Sure.
we push back practices. A lot of places you'll go, coaches will tell you that you have got to change your major,
Oh,
to
wow.
so you can be at practice when they're practicing, or they practice without you. But um, I think you come to Purdue to get an education first, and that's the most important thing to me. That if we have a young woman who wants to be a civil engineer major, then it's my job to work around that, and set her up for success. So um, yeah, it makes for long days right now. The couch in my office can take a really good nap when we've got practice at 6 p.m. But those are pretty much in season. Out of season, a little less chill. If I can find a way to get to a golf course, then I'm doing that. I'm a member, when I'm a member at Coyote here in West Lafayette, and then obviously can play Campen and Ackerman anytime, especially with
Mm-hmm.
Coach Katie.
Oh,
But yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of recruiting there, so there's not really a downtime. A couple weeks ago, we had a day off, and flew. Let's see, what am I? Monday we had practice. Tuesday I flew to New York City, recruited, came back that same day. Wednesday practice. Thursday flew to Boston, came back that same day. Friday practice. Saturday practice, and had an official visit. So there's not a lot of days off. We get 1 week in May and 1 week in August where we're allowed as coaches to turn your phones off and not talk to recruits.
oh,
But other
wow.
than that, it's a constant grind. But we all signed up for it, and I think we love it. Right, we're here to help change young women's lives and win basketball games, and pays the bills. So you gotta just stick to the grind.
I love your dedication and all that you said about supporting the education of these women. And you're getting a lot of compliments in the chat here about how you work around their schedules, etc.
Yeah.
But when you said that a couple of weeks ago, I had a day off, I was like, wow, that is intense, and then that you can turn off your phone like one week in
Mm-hmm.
April and what that's intense. But this is a life of a coach, right?
No
And
doubt, no doubt.
yeah,
It's what we signed up for, and I wouldn't know what I would be doing if
if you weren't
I
coaching,
yeah, no way. Like this
really.
is this is what I was meant to do.
I'm curious how that differs your coaching here for Marion and then also abroad because you did do some coaching abroad.
Yeah, when I tore my ACL, I helped coach a little bit because I couldn't play anymore, and I think that's probably when I knew I really wanted to get into coaching, because I started to understand the game a little bit. Um, but at Marion, we didn't have to recruit the way we have to recruit at this level, so I could take a 3-week vacation and nobody cared. Yeah, you don't get that life here at Division One.
No. Oh, okay. Quite a difference there. Okay. You had to learn pretty fast all these changes between division.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was lucky, right? I had some really strong people around me. My
Mm-hmm.
staff was great. So
Mm-hmm.
they were always great. To take care of me, look after me. Talk to my college coach twice a week, probably. She's at
Mm,
Alabama right now, so we probably talk twice a week, and she's a good person to kind of vent to and then get advice when I need it.
that's awesome. We all need our tribe, don't we? So thanks for
Yes, we
that.
do. Yes, we do.
Okay. My third question for you is can you please share what life was like when you were a student athlete and your biggest takeaways from that experience?
Yeah. When social media didn't exist.
Yeah.
So that was great. I think Facebook was just now kind of becoming a thing back then.
Mm-hmm.
I think you had to have an EDU address to get Facebook back then.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was great that I didn't have a cell phone until like my first year in college. So I remember rushing back to my apartment to see if I'd missed phone calls from my coach, and it's like, Mom, Dad, like I have to get a call, like I have to get a phone. I'm missing stuff. So they helped me with that. But it's just so different. I think nowadays we have, I think one thing that I've learned, have had to adjust to is the mental side and the mental health that I think young people battle these days. And I think that stems a lot from social media and you know the strive for perfection and the fear of failure and it being immediate in the social media world. So it's one thing we try to do. We actually have a life coach that comes in and meets with our girls regularly to talk about how to handle mental toughness, or not just mental toughness, but being able to understand that it's not a weakness. It's okay to reach out for help. And one thing that I try to do is create a safe space for our young women that I think we're starting to get there as a society, but the more that as a leader I can foster this environment where it's safe to ask for help or to reach out to talk to somebody, and know that they're not battling it alone. It's a world that we live in, and I'm fortunate that I grew up in that era, and I think that's the biggest difference. I know you talk about money and all that other stuff that college athletes can make right now. I think the one thing that comes with all that is the social media and the fear of failure. And one thing I strive to do is, whether I'm winning games or not, like, my job is to help these young women get ready for life, and to help them be as successful as I can.
I love that. Help these women prepare for life. That's something we're just going to have to take out and just highlight. Thank you. Ladies, if you have any questions, just go ahead and feel free to put them in the chat. You are, again, getting a lot of claps and yes, Hail Marys and all that. So that's awesome. I think also with social media, you get, like, as soon as you make that tiny little mistake, it's all over. I mean, it's all over, and there's no way to stop it. And it just builds. I mean, it's a lot of pressure for a student today to have to go through that, where back in the days, it wasn't like that.
No.
So we'll go back to the mental health issue, because that is a big question. And I know a lot of women on the chat are, love that topic. So let's just go to the next one. Is, how would you describe your coaching style with these girls?
I think what you see right now is probably exactly the way I am. I'm a players coach, but I think I've got some old school Gene, Katie, Bob Knight in me as well, so I could get after them pretty good if I have to. But it's my job is like I said, my job is to help them get ready for life after college. And we tell them, it's not a 4-year commitment, it's a 40-year commitment, and we're here for the rest of your life. I think that speaks true about a lot of Boilermakers, right? We always tend to find our way back to this place because it was so special to us, and Purdue just does a great job of looking out for its own. But yeah, like, I think what you see is what you get. Christine can probably attest to this. Like, every day in the office, I'm exactly like this. Maybe a little irritated if we lose or we didn't have a good practice, but I try not to go too far off of just who I am authentically, and trying to be genuine. I just think that's the most important way to live life. And I think the one thing that we try to do really hard is create this environment where each people can be their true selves. Whether accepting each other for exactly who they are and what they stand for, but create an environment. I think that when you feel the most safe about who you are, I think it gives you an opportunity to have the most success in life, because you are comfortable in your own skin. And I think that's exactly the kind of environment I want to create.
That's awesome. And it's just so much more harder to be someone different in a place where you're not safe. So I love that you give the players a space to be able to be their genuine self by you showing the example. So thank you. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of questions for you in the chat. Well, we'll get back there. Everything from football to, okay. We'll go back here. What qualities do you look for in building your coaching staff? And how has it changed actually since you started your coaching staff?
It has.
Okay.
I'm super blessed. I think I have two other people on staff that played here at Purdue. Kelly Kamara was on the '99 national championship team. And then Alex Guyton was a little bit older or younger than I am, so she played a little bit past I did. But yeah, just I think that's important. I think we're all so different. And then we have Mark on staff, who is our amazing recruiter. I mean, he just stays at it, stays on the grind. I think he's headed somewhere recruiting this weekend, and then we jump on a plane Sunday to go to Boston again. But just create a place where people are, everybody's opinion matters. We've done personality tests. There's like 0D in me. I have like no D in a disc. Like there's like 0, like I'm all IS. And then we have like Kelly on staff has a lot of D. So she's a little bit more direct. It's challenged me to be, a little bit, because that's the way she operates. But yeah, it's I love that we have two people here that played at Purdue, and love everything about Purdue. And then Mark obviously is got the reputation to be one of the best recruiters in the country, and I'm blessed that he's on board. Then we have an anthrop on staff, and then I have 2 other people on staff that played for me at Marion. So they must not have hated it too bad that they still want to be around. So I'll take that as a compliment.
If they want to work with you. That's awesome. Can you remind the audience how big your staff is?
Yeah, too many. So Christine is really the one that keeps it in line for me here. She handles all my calendar stuff, and she keeps me in line. But then we have 1 graduate assistant, a video director, director of ops, 3 other coaches. Then we have a strength coach, dietitian, nutritionist, athletic trainer. Am I missing anything? I think that's about it. But
that's a lot.
not all of those report to me, just the ones at the beginning that I talked about report to me. And the less is better to me. I think the more intimate and close we can be, the better.
And I love that you mentioned that you're an IS and there's no D in you, but then that you're surrounded by people with different qualities.
Yeah.
I wonder if do you also have the team?
We do.
You do.
We do. We have 1 member with a D, and we have a lot of C's on our team. A lot of people who want to be, they want exactly what to do and all of that. That's Christine right there, big high C. But I think one thing that I found interesting, I know the men have done this for a really long time, but our personnel matched up to the way Matt Painter wants his people too. So we have very similar teams in the way we think. Obviously we got a long way to go to catch up to how good his teams are, but it's great that he's down the hallway and then right across the street at the house. So if I ever need to talk to him, he's
he is.
Yeah.
How convenient is that? Okay, just to remind people on the call, a DISC is a personality assessment. So the D stands for dominance. I have to read this. I is influence, C is conscientiousness, and then S is more steadiness. So coach here is an influence and steadiness, same as me. So that's cool. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, thank you. Okay. My next question is, it's a question from Nancy Cross, and she says, do not be blinded by talent. What does that mean to you when coaching?
Yeah.
Recruiting.
Oh man. I think the one thing that we try to do as a staff is obviously you want to find really good players. But you have to have players that fit into your culture and your environment. And Purdue is not for everybody. And I think academics have to be important. We all talk to these young kids, and if we get one red flag, no matter how good the kid is, we don't want to create a mess in the locker room. I think a lot of championships are won in the locker room when you build chemistry in the locker room. I think actually I read a quote today that it's the coach's vision to create the culture, but it's the players that actually live the culture. And so if we can keep all the trouble and the messiness, and I think that's kind of what Nance is meaning there. Don't be blinded by how good a young woman, a young girl is. If there's red flags, it's just not, it's not a place or something that we want to deal with. We want to make sure we're creating a space that everybody wants to be at Purdue for the right reasons. We're proud to wear the 6 letters across our chest. We bleed black and gold. I think we live in this world where, NIL and all this, these student athletes are making money. And I always tell young people that if you're looking for money, and that's the most important thing for you, then Purdue isn't the place for you. If you want a culture, if you want a family, if you want an environment, and then NIL can be a part of it, the money can be a part of it, then we can have a conversation. But if it's the most important thing for you, it's not the Purdue way. It's never going to be that way. And honestly, I'm really, really proud of Purdue for standing and being exactly that way.
Thank you. And Joanne's giving you a shout out here. Purdue people are special. So people tend to forget that. Thanks for taking it to heart, Coach. So I think we all share that sentiment. So thank you for that. Um, Going back to one of the questions here, actually, what is the most difficult part of the recruiting process? Who asked that? Kaylee.
The most difficult part, honestly, when you're
Wait,
talking to young people, sometimes having a conversation with young people can be tough. Um, you know, it's sometimes you're on the phone with a 13, 14-year-old girl, and that can be really tough. So you try to, hey, what's your that you gotta stay hip. Like, what are your shoes? You talk about shoes, you talk about Netflix. What are you binging on Netflix right now? So I've got to stay up to, and that's where Mark comes in. Mark, when I make a call, Mark has, my notes are down to there's nothing he misses. Like, I know exactly what I'm supposed to talk about. Um, but we just it it create a relationship, foster a relationship with young people, meet
mm,
their families. I think I read a questions, are parents a concern with women's recruits like men's sports? Yeah, I think that's
hmm
one you stay away from when you have to. I think in I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing. But when we get young women here, we want them to be able to live and make their decisions for themselves. So I think that's something we'll make sure we always recruit the parents too, if that makes
mm,
sense.
mm. And then when you're talking to them, you literally have just maybe a couple of shots, one on the phone and one in person, right? And then a
Yeah, it's
virtual.
it's but it's something you've got to do all the time. We've got Mark gives us a call list. All of us have calls that we have to
Hmm
do, or text messages. And the first time you talk to a student athlete, you ask them, are you a phone person or are you a texter?
hmm
What does that look like? Sometimes challenges of, we're recruiting a young woman from the Netherlands right now, so time zone change can be funny.
hmm
All that stuff. We watched a kid from Australia today. Obviously, Abby was from Australia, played for us last year. So it's a unique balancing act, and I'm very
Sure.
glad that I have Mark.
hmm
And then Kelly and Alex help kind of keep everything in line. We have a program online where if you have a phone call with somebody, you type in the notes. So the next time you talk to that kid, you're not missing, you're not
mm
asking the same question, and
Sure.
you're able to kind of keep the conversation going with the young woman.
Yeah, keep it fresh because these kids can turn these questions in their mind over and over again. So I get that.
Yep.
So you're getting a lot of questions here. We're going to move on because I can't believe we've only got 13 minutes left.
Oof,
I
sorry.
know where the time go. This is awesome because we're getting a lot of questions in the chat as well. Let's talk about the future here.
Yep.
Um, yeah, yeah. Can you share what you think the future of women's basketball is going to look like?
I just think that we're on this, and this can. Someone asked about Caitlin. I
Yeah.
think,
hmm
I think we're in this time of, like, we've got to keep writing this out and keep elevating our game, to newer and higher levels. I think what Caitlin did, for our game was incredible. I think what she's still doing for our game is just unbelievable. Um, she I hated coaching against her. She was a pain in the butt. Like, it was terrible trying to figure out how to stop her. I wasn't a fan to coach against her. I'll be totally honest. I hated it. Like, I just, but watching her for the Fever, like, I caught myself finding, watching every Indiana Fever game, and it was because of
hmm
Caitlin and what she has done for our game. Obviously, the opportunity that we've had to be on TV, I think Caitlin elevated that. I think the Big Ten did a really good job of highlighting women's basketball. And then you look beyond Caitlin, in the Big Ten, especially. Indiana has had some really good players: Grace Berger, Mackenzie Holmes, Juju Watkins, Kiki Rice,
mm
not from USC, UCLA. They're entering the Big Ten. So I think it's just a wave that we've got to keep riding. I think people all are really recognizing that women can hoop. And our game is just at this all-time high that we've got to keep riding it out.
I love that. So what do you think the challenges and opportunities are facing the league?
Um, I, I think it's on coaches and players. Keep putting the product out there that's really, really good. Because everybody wants to watch good product. Everybody
Sure.
wants to watch good basketball. I think now we have eyes on us. So keep putting the big games on TV. Keep getting those seen. And then obviously with us, I say it all the time to our team and to everybody. Like we won. We didn't have a great season last year and still finished 17th in the country in attendance. So the commitment from our fan base is there. And now it's our job to make sure the product keeps getting better and better. If we want more people in the stands, people want to support winners, just the way that the world is. And, we're blessed to have the support that we have at Purdue. And I think we've got some really loyal faithfuls, but we've got to continue to get better. So we can fill Mackey like the men do every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just a shame that the season is so far from now. It starts in April again next year.
Man, it's right around the corner. I wish it was. I wish we had more time, but it's right around the corner.
It is right around the corner. Okay. And last question here is, what role do you think women's basketball plays in advancing gender equity in sports?
I think that's, something we just kind of touched on. I think we're headed in the right direction as
Sure.
as a country overall. And that's not just Kaylin. That's, you look at volleyball across the country. The professional volleyball league, the professional soccer league is just growing. The women's sports in general. And I think one thing we've got a lot of, famous people, a lot of male professional, a lot of people pushing women's sports, right? I think I'm a big, obviously, Chiefs fan, but Pat Mahomes and his wife, they have part ownership of the Kansas City
the
soccer
soccer
league.
team.
I think LeBron does a good job. I think one thing where we got sure, I think Kobe Bryant was starting to do that, and I think our women's game kind of took a shot when we lost Kobe so early in life, because his young daughters, I think what he was going to do for our game.
Sure.
But I think everybody kind of followed his league. I think, you look at LeBron and Pat, people who are the highest, the faces. Like, I think Tiger kind of has started to do that with his daughter doesn't play, but when you get these, when you get these more famous people watching women's sports, right?
Yeah.
Athletes, actors, actresses, more eyes are on it, because it's just kind of the way the world is. And I think we've got to keep, like I said, just keep riding that wave, to keep growing women's sports.
This is really truly an exciting time for women, women's sports in general. And so I'm glad that I love how this is playing out. So we've got a game tonight, don't we, at 8? Who's playing tonight? Yeah, the playoffs for tonight isn't it tonight? Can't remember who's playing.
Who is playing tonight? Tuesday. Connecticut and Minnesota. So Steph White.
Okay.
Steph White.
Yeah,
Purdue grad.
There we go. Sun versus Lynx. Someone put in the chat. Thank you.
I for some reason I forget that it's Tuesday.
I know it is a crazy time. It gets so weird watching that. Okay, so any last words before I have 3 special messages from some of our guests here?
No, I don't. I thank you so much. This has been fun. It's fun to talk about Purdue and our team and our vision for where we think we can take this program.
So everybody buy up those tickets, huh? We gave those links in the chat.
It's awesome. Please do.
Get your tickets now. I want to see those fly off the counter. Nancy, are you on the call? And also Christine, let's do it this way. Christine, if you'd like to share a message, and then afterwards we'll let Nancy say something, and then we've got a special video message for you.
Great, thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Christine. I'm Katie's administrative assistant. Katie, thank you for making work a place where I want to be every day and not a place I have to be. Everything you do for the players, you do for me. You see me as a whole person. This job can be more than just 9 to 5, and you realize that. And I am so grateful, and I am so lucky for what you have done and created as a culture at work. I realized last year wins and losses were not great, but everything you've done will translate to more wins and a championship. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks, Christine. I love you, Christine.
sweet. Thank you. The GOAT coach. We are so lucky. Thank you.
Best boss ever.
The best boss ever. That's like I think that's the first thing that flew out of her mouth when I first talked to her. So thanks, Christine. Nance, are you on the call? Can we get you on the screen?
I am. I'm actually at a women's philanthropy retreat on Nantucket, so I apologize for not being visible, but I have been on the call and exactly what I expected from Katie. Again, I can't tell you how thrilled I am that she's leading this program. I love to be the one that was got to watch her as a player. I remember flying back from Europe when she was a student athlete, and it's the first time she'd been out of the country, I think. And she said, "I'm never ever leaving the the state of Indiana." And then she gets drafted by Seattle, and then ironically goes to Europe to play. But all of that passion and all of that enthusiasm, I love that she brings that to practice and to games every single day. And when you win 2 national championships, I don't care what level it is, you have to be unbelievably committed and unbelievably competitive, and always be in a state of mind of continuous improvement. And Katie's, this is starting year 4, and just watching her every year change and work to be better, and yet still be so grounded in the reason she's doing this is to make the lives of our student athletes a really incredibly positive experience. So we love Katie.
We love Katie.
Love you, Nance.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nance, for joining us on this call. And now Sugar's going to play a message for you.
Yep. I have a surprise message for you.
I see that.
Make sure I share this. Hold on a second. Okay. Know when you can see this.
Here we go.
Hey.
Hi, Coach Gearld, Coach Katie here. Good luck in your basketball season. I hope you'll be able to win a lot of games, and I'll be there to watch you.
Boiler up.
I love that.